Am I the a-hole for cutting off my dad and siblings after they replaced my mom? 6 years ago, when I was only 16, my whole world came crashing down. My mom was diagnosed with a rare form of stomach cancer. I was just a kid, barely old enough to drive, still figuring out who I was. But in that moment, my childhood ended. Someone had to step up for her, and that someone ended up being me. My dad didn't step up. He shut down. At first, I thought it was fear. I thought maybe he just didn't know how to process the idea of losing his wife. But quickly it became clear that it wasn't fear, it was selfishness. He didn't want to deal with the reality of her illness. He wanted her to carry on like nothing was happening, like she could somehow ignore her body breaking down. When mom was too tired to get out of bed, he'd snap at her. You've got to at least try. You can't just lay there all day. He made excuses to avoid driving her to chemo, telling me he was too busy with work or that she didn't need hand-holding. But the truth? He didn't want the burden. When she had surgery, I expected him to be terrified of losing her. Instead, he sobbed about himself, about how he couldn't manage the house or the kids alone. He even begged the doctors if there wasn't some treatment that would let her stay normal. In the last 3 months, mom couldn't even get out of bed. She was in constant pain, often too weak to move. I bathed her. I helped her to the bathroom, I managed her medications, and I tried to keep her comfortable. I was 16 years old, watching the strongest person I knew slowly fade away, and I had no choice but to grow up overnight. And my siblings? My brother was 15, my sister 13. I get that they were kids too, but it doesn't erase how much they hurt me or her. Instead of being gentle with her, they complained. Constantly. About the food, about the house, about how things weren't like before. They would literally ask her why she wasn't making their favorite snacks anymore while she was doubled over vomiting. They accused me of hogging her, but when I tried to step back and give them time, they wouldn't even sit with her. Instead, they'd unload their anger on me, listing all the reasons they hated me, then turning around and whining that I was taking her away from them. The last thing my brother said to her still twists my stomach every time I think about it. He asked her why she couldn't get out of bed to make him one last birthday cake. His birthday wasn't even for another month. He just wanted her to push herself one more time for him. That was his last request of her. Not "I love you," not "thank you," but a cake. And then she was gone. My mom, my best friend, my protector, the only person who ever made me feel truly seen, was gone. After she died, I thought maybe the family would finally pull together. I thought maybe we'd grieve as a unit, find strength in each other. Instead, it got worse. I was falling apart, but apparently I wasn't allowed to. I cried. I was told I was weak. I pulled away because the grief was suffocating me. I was told I was selfish. I dropped out of school to work because I couldn't sit in a classroom pretending life was normal. I was screamed at for being irresponsible. But everyone else? They got a free pass. My dad could drink himself stupid, sleep around, and even bring other women into the house within weeks of my mom's funeral, and nobody cared. My brother could get into violent fights, steal from the family, even pawn off mom's personal things, and it was brushed aside as acting out. My sister could smash furniture, bully kids at school, and spend $5,000 of dad's money without permission, and people just shrugged. Meanwhile, I was expected to be the good one. The responsible one. The strong one. The one who didn't break. Every single mistake I made was magnified. Every moment I grieved was thrown back in my face. I was told I had stolen their time with mom, that I was the reason she died, that I had ruined everything. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I moved out, thinking maybe space would help. But it didn't. My dad moved on quickly. He remarried. And from the moment she walked into their lives, my siblings began calling her mom. Just like that. As if my real mom had never existed. Suddenly, I was being bombarded with calls, messages, and guilt trips. Why won't you meet your new mom? She's amazing. She does everything for us. You're being selfish. You're hurting her feelings. You're ruining the family vibe. It was like watching them erase my mom in real time. Like she was just a character in their story who could be replaced with a new actress, no problem. After more than a year of this pressure, I snapped. I told them exactly what I thought. I told them if their selfish asses wanted to replace mom just so they could have someone take care of them again, then fine. But I never would. I told them I hoped one day they realized how they had treated her, that they made her feel disposable, and that they'd regret it when it was too late. Because to me, they did replace her. They treated her like she wasn't important. And then they tried to force me to play along. That was it. I cut contact completely. I blocked them all. It's been over a year since I've spoken to any of them. Of course, they didn't accept it at first. They tried calling, texting, even reaching out through extended family. Eventually, they went through my uncle. He asked why, and I told him the truth. I'm focusing on myself, and I want nothing to do with them after everything. He was shocked. He told me I was being too harsh, that I should cut them some slack. But where was that slack for me when I was 16, holding our mom's hand while she withered away? Where was that compassion when I was barely surviving and they were blaming me for everything? He told me I went too far when I accused them of replacing mom. Maybe he's right. Maybe it was harsh. But it's how I felt, and honestly, how I still feel. Because that's exactly what it looked like. And now I keep turning it over in my head. Was I wrong? Am I really the asshole for refusing to forgive them? For refusing to meet their new mom? For going no contact when the people who should have been my support system turned on me instead? I don't know anymore. All I know is I couldn't pretend she was replaceable. So, am I the a-hole?